We've all seen curvature in 2D. It tells us whether a curve will bend up or down or remain flat. Well, if we extend this into 3D, it becomes far more complex. Today I will show how we can still use the same principles to find minimums and maximums along with the reasoning to each result. First, let's take a really quick look at 2D. In 2D, a minimum or maximum occurs when the slope is 0, such as in these three curves. But you may notice that one of these isn't an extreme, and that's the middle one. This is called a saddle point. To distinguish whether it's an extreme or a saddle point, we can't just look at the point's slope or first derivative, but we need to look at its curvature or second derivative. If the curvature is positive or negative, it's an extreme, a maximum for negative values, and a minimum for positive ones. Otherwise, it may be a saddle. In 3D, we can use a similar approach, and we encounter similar shapes along with some new ones. We still have the maximum and minimum, which look like these. We now also have a saddle, which looks like this. We also have new versions of each of these. They still behave like a minimum, maximum, or saddle, but now contain flat directions with no curvature. In this we are going to be using the vector derivative operator del, denoted with this symbol. What it does is it takes the partial derivative with respect to x of the x component, and similarly for the y component. We will be using this in order to find the slope and curvature. First, we need a direction vector h. This acts like the h from the derivative definition, just instead of being a scalar for a one-dimensional input, we need a vector for our 2D input. H is equal to a x hat plus b y hat. If we take the dot product of h and del, we get a tiny change along h, which is equal to a partial x plus b partial y. Using this, we can take the derivative of a function along the direction h. We can do this by simply multiplying them, giving us h dot del times f. We can expand the parentheses and then multiply, and we get this. This is the value of the slope of f in the direction h. To find the critical points, we just solve for when the slope is 0 in all directions. We can do this by setting a to 1 and b to 0, and solving for 0, and then the same with a equals 0 and b equals 1, giving our critical values of x and y. Now that we have the critical points, we need to take a look at the curvature to understand whether or not the point is an extreme or saddle. To get the second derivative, we can do the usual and just take the derivative of the derivative. So we end up with h dot del squared times f. Expanding that out gives us this, and then doing the multiplication gives us this, which I will call qabxy. Since fxy equals fyx, we can equate them, making this our curvature. Now that we have our curvature in a direction h, we can finally see if it's an extreme or a saddle point. Let's say we have our critical point. If we stand on it and vary h to look in all directions, all the curvatures should be the same sign, if it's an extreme. If some signs differed, then it would be a saddle. But how do we check every direction? Well, we know that qabp gives the curvature in every direction, starting from the point p. Writing q out fully, we get that our curvature is fxx a squared plus 2fxy ab plus fyy squared. We want to know if varying a and b ever switches the sign, corresponding to a saddle point. But for qabp to switch signs, it must pass through 0. That means if curvature ever equals 0, it has the potential to switch signs. So now the question becomes, is the curvature equation solvable? We can treat this as a quadratic equation in A, so it all boils down to its discriminant. If we do get the discriminant for A, it's 4xy squared times b squared minus 4fxx fyy b squared. If this is less than 0, we have an extreme, so let's simplify it. We can divide both sides by 4b squared and then flip the sign. That gives us that if fxx fyy minus fxy squared is greater than 0, it is an extreme. Or in other words, all the curvatures are the same sign. But what happens at 0 or below 0? For below 0, our curvature looks like this as we vary a, since the parabola has two solutions given by a discriminant. See how some portions are positive while others are negative. That leads to a saddle. Meanwhile, if the discriminant evaluates to 0, we cannot be sure about the surrounding geometry, as you need more information from higher order derivatives to conclude what is happening. Now let's try this on an actual function. Simply looking at the function the way it's written out, it's hard to tell if it has minimums or maximums, or what is really going on. So let's analyze it. First we get h.del of f. This gives us this as our slope at every point. To get the critical points, we can find when the slope is 0 for h equals 1, 0 and 0, 1. Starting from h equals 1, 0, we can set it equal to 0. The bottom cancels and we divide by minus 2y squared, leaving us with x equals 0. Next we can solve for when h equals 0, 1. We set it equal to 0 and we get the slope to be this quadratic. We can sub in x equals 0 and then solve it with the quadratic formula, giving two solutions, y equals -1 and 1/3, giving us two critical points. Now we just need the curvature function, so we apply h.del again, giving our full curvature function to be this. Since we know the 2 points, we can sub in their x and y values. Let's start with the point 0, 1/3. That results in the curvature equation minus 2 over 9a squared plus 4b squared. Getting its discriminant gives 0 squared minus 4 times -2 over 9 times 4, which is 32 over 9. Since 32 over 9 is positive, it has solutions, and multiple of them, meaning it's a saddle point, but one point still remains. If we try the point 0, -1, we get the curvature function minus 2a squared minus 4b squared. Its discriminant is instead minus 32, corresponding to num solutions, meaning it's an extreme. But which one? Since having no solutions means the curvature never switches signs, we can just choose a random h, and that will be the sign of the surrounding curvature. An arbitrary h, such as h equals 1, 1, results in a curvature of -6, meaning the surrounding surface curves down. Using this, we can conclude the point 0, -1 is a maximum. So now you know how curvature works in 3D, and how we can use it to find minimums, maximums, and saddles. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you learned something new, and if you'd like, you can join the Discord. Have a nice day.